Think you know church? Think again. Our church has sand and waves.
My church has coffee and lawn bowls.
Our church has barbecues and parks.
My church has buildings and books.
Why should we plant churches? And why should they look like what we would call fresh expressions in different ways? Well, I think the answer pretty simply is because that's what Jesus told us to do. You know, the last thing Jesus said was, go and make disciples. Well, as I understand the story of the Bible, the only way we make disciples is in community. God creates humanity. God calls Abraham's family. God creates the people of Israel and takes them to a place of promise. And Jesus forms his body, the church. Disciples only happen in communities. So when he says go make disciples, I think he's actually saying go plant churches.
Our church plant journey began out on the water. In this calm and peaceful place came the realization that this would be a great place for people to connect with God and with faith. Mission in our church plant probably looks quite different to what you're expecting. Because we engage with people on the water or on the beach, there's usually water, sand, wax and coffee. Often all of these are involved. Our church plant is special because we're in one of the most beautiful places we could ever be in, and that's the beach, and we're connecting with real people in their real life activities and situations. I believe that it's very important for new and different styles of churches to be grown because many people in our community simply don't relate to church as we've traditionally known it. If we can engage church beyond the church building borders, then we're impacting and reaching a whole lot of people with the message of God's love.
Well, we've started with a small group of friends coming together to explore life. And the only thing we did was really drinking coffee, so we went from coffee shop to coffee shop in town, meeting up and having fun together and talk about life. That was how it all started. And that group quickly grew from just two families, and soon we had about 15 people coming together where we needed to look at other options of where will we meet. So we continued to gather together, and after our group got so big, we started Sunday services. Mission for us is about the community and connecting with the community. Mission for us is being real, knowing that we're definitely not perfect and we're all on this journey exploring life together. So here at the Hub, it is quite important. When we started our church journey, we said, a church building is often a stumble block for the rest of the community to connect. So for us it is about connecting community, and this building, this bowls club we have here, give us that opportunity to bridge that gap, to invite people here for a Tuesday morning social bowls where they just come along, have a drink, have a coffee, have some morning tea, have some lunch, play a bit of bowls together. So it is really connecting with just everyday people on the street.
So whenever there's a fifth Sunday in the month, or any other good excuse, we don't meet for dinner as we usually would. We come down to one of the neighbourhood parks and we hang out and get out the cricket set and we play, and we see who comes out to play with us. And in this way we've met a number of different families. It's an opportunity for people to know and be known, just to yarn with each other, play some finska. There'll be an Easter egg hunt this time. It's just an opportunity for us to be the people of God in the place where we are planted and where we belong. And it's a lot of fun. It's good to be church. Sometimes when you hang out in public spaces, folks don't understand how that is church. On one occasion at a fete in a park, somebody came up and said, well, why aren't you in church? And I made her a cup of coffee and we sat and had a yak, and I said, well, we are being church and this is where we are. This is how we get together. And it turned out that she then invited us to become the church that helps out at the local retirement and nursing home. She went and told her boss, I've met this really weird church and I think they're exactly what our people need. So now we conduct worship in a retirement home once a month because we're the kind of people who go to others and hang out with them. We have to plant, and we have to try new ways of planting or we're done for. And that's not just our story, that's the story of the church in Western suburban culture. We have to try new things, and that will involve just planting. And planting is about a seed. It's not about having a full-grown tree ready to bring in with a bulldozer and put it in there and so on and so on. It's about a little thing that can grow to be whatever it's going to grow to be. I think if we don't plant things that say, come and be welcome, hang out with us, know and be known, and Jesus will be in that, and we'll disciple one another, well, I think we're done for.
Newlife Brisbane began about 3 years ago when the moderator David Baker kind of caught the vision for what could happen if we planted a congregation that was aimed at young adults in the heart of the city. Since then, it's morphed into not just being a young adult congregation, but now we're church planting this community which is targeting young professionals, but also all demographics and all generations. Statistically, new churches are the greatest way to reach people for the cause of Christ. The larger a church gets, the less likely it is to reach non-Christians or those who are yet to be reconciled with church and with Jesus. So most church planting research would suggest that for us to reach new people, we need to plant more churches, not just grow the current ones we have. Ultimately, when you church plant, you are moving into a community where you need to recognize a couple of things. God is already at work, people already live there, stuff is already happening before you arrived. And so for you to church plant into that moment, you will need to recognize that people who already know the culture, who already know the environment, need to be partnered with.
Give to the Presbytery Mission Fund for the mission of church planting
and help make mission possible for tomorrow's people.
Help us help communities, one family at a time.